the 100% escrow requirement to correct violations resulting from point-of-sale inspections per Chapter 1494 of the Codified Ordinance of the City of Maple Heights to offer an incentive to individuals who purchase residential properties and occupy such residential properties and declaring an emergency. And this ordinance is on its first reading. Is there any discussion?
Council President?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Good evening again. We have some statistics that we'd like to share with council tonight, just in regards to this particular ordinance. So last year, the ACAR, that's the Akron Cleveland Area Realtors Group, shared a study conducted by the University of Cincinnati that showed escrow requirements tied to point-of-sale inspections can delay transactions and impede home ownership without producing better safety outcomes than routine citywide enforcement, which is part of what you guys call about. When there's issues with properties in the city, you expect, as you should, for the city to come in and cite as needed, sometimes send to court as needed if there is no compliance. That's something that we work on within the department. So the study pretty much showed that those routine inspections, those inspections that are needed and required, have a bigger effect than actually just doing point of sales. In Maple Heights, where household incomes are modest and the housing stock is older, transaction uncertainty can have a direct impact on reinvestment decisions. So getting back to economic development, from that perspective, Maple Heights stands out, unfortunately, for having the highest concentration in the county, at least right now, of investor-owned properties. It's fully 20.1% of the total of the single-family houses in the city. The city has roughly 9,000 plus parcels that are single-family. The reason for that is everybody knows. Foreclosure crisis between 2006 and 2008 hammered the city. Maple Heights statistically was one of the hardest hit neighborhoods, cities in the county and the state. Between 2006 and 2008, I was working at ESOP at the time. We documented this stuff, and during that time, Maple had over 1,300 foreclosures. When it comes to single-family houses, that's over 15% of the total of the single-family houses in the city. That's going to crater any market. So coming back from that has been tough. Everybody knows where the home ownership prices were. You could buy a house in Maple for $30,000. It was the same 15, 20 years ago. During that time, in cities like Euclid, neighborhoods like Slavic Village, which were hardest hit during the foreclosure crisis itself. So one of the tools that the city's been able to use to claw back from that has not just been the point of sales, but also the waiver. The waiver itself has helped increase home ownership within the city. Between 2020 and 2023, home ownership in the city, homeowner occupants, that number raised by over 4%. That's small, but knowing where we were, prior to that, the market pretty much, when it came to single-family houses, I want to say it was 58% in 2018, were owned by homeowner occupants. The rest were investors. So we clawed back from that. Roughly right now, about 63.1% of all properties, single-family homes in the city, are homeowner occupied, and that's as of 2023. That's the most recent data that we have on record. When the 2024 numbers come out, I'm sure that we would have grown from that. And that's in part due to the waiver of the point of sale requirements when it comes to homeowner occupants within the city. I have this information. If you guys want it, I can send it. But with your permission, I would humbly ask that you consider the passage of this so that we could get home ownership numbers back up in the city of Maple. Thank you.
Chair.
Councilwoman AG.
You're going to share that information tomorrow, correct?
I can send it.
But you want us to vote for it tonight?
Yes. I can send it.
I know you can send it, but it would
I-
have been real good if you would have sent it last Friday,
Mm-hmm.
so we could do our research on it.
Okay.
So, do you want this to go to 3 readings?
If that's something that needs to happen, sure. This legislation, again, is important for the city itself. And so if it needs an extra reading, so be it. As of right now, as of today, the department is not, is requiring that all point of sales, including single-family homeowner occupants, put money down in escrow. So the city, the department right now is not, or is enforcing the code as it is. If you believe or you feel that it needs another reading, it would be worth it. If you need the information, I can send it. That's not a problem.
Okay, and what I was getting ready to say, why don't you schedule a meeting so you can, with council,
Mm-hmm.
well, with the council members who would like to come and hear it from you? Because maybe
Sure.
you can persuade us.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
A meeting, oh, yeah, any time within the next 2 weeks, pretty much, right? Or beginning of February. All right, yeah, we can make it happen.
Well, we have a meeting coming up.
Councilman Shinet.
Yep. And Councilman Agee, we do have a meeting coming up. I don't know if you wanted that soon, that the 26th. If it's not going to be, are we talking about a lengthy conversation, or are we talking about something that don't sound 20? I'm just, if you want it sooner than later, that's one. And two, as you know, I've supported this for when it came to fruition. So, a couple of questions. First, I'm gonna ask in reverse order. What do they have to right now, because it's it's not on the books yet?
Yeah.
How much do you have to put in escrow right now? I mean, how does that work?
From what I've
You go
seen,
back to the old way, or what?
yeah.
And what was the old 80-20, something like that?
Well,
Oh, what, 20?
the statistic or that percentage, I gotta look that up. I can tell you that.
No,
Yeah.
my apologies.
That's okay.
What I'm asking is, how much do they have to put in escrow right now?
So it depends on what's in the point of sale.
No, percentage-wise. I'm sorry, that's what I meant, percentage-wise. Yes, go ahead.
To my knowledge, it's 100% of what's required in the point of sale based
Oh,
on
it's
estimate.
100. Wow. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, so then my next question is, we may have talked about this before. There is a safety net in place where investors cannot manipulate this benefit. Does that make sense?
Investors cannot, in any way, shape, or form, they do not get this benefit. It's homeowner occupants.
Yeah, and now my question is manipulate the benefit. You know what I mean? So these investors getting very crafty, you know what I mean? Try to do a workaround, and that's why I asked if they're kind of a safety net, a watchdog to just make sure that this is not happening. I mean, I know people gonna get away with some things, but
Right.
do we are we cognizant of that?
Yes. All property transfers in the city require a point of sale. So it doesn't matter if somebody is, well, and let me step back. To your point, there will always be in any city companies that try their best to slip through the cracks. But this is something that we keep a watch on. And again, the before transfer requirement is that all properties go through a point of sale.
Good. Anyone else?
Council President.
Yes.
So, was there, I know I've spoken before and I've asked a question, I have 2 questions. Was there any consideration given to a percentage as opposed to 100%? Was there any consideration or discussion with that after our last meeting conversation?
Not to my knowledge, no. It's 100% of the total, no matter what, as of right now today.
Okay.
That's what's on the books currently with
Right.
point of sale transactions.
The other, my other question is, I know that some years back, we've talked about, I know residents were talking about how much that Maple had a lot of renters, and I don't remember what the percentage was that Mayor Blackwell gave, that we were mostly homeowners. So with this in place for the last several years, we've lost home ownership with this in place at 100%, because these numbers are lower than the numbers that were previously
No.
indicated.
Statistically, the city, I want to say the city passed the original waiver in 2017. In 2018, that was the lowest point when it comes to homeowner occupants purchasing properties in the city, is at roughly 58%. Today, now let me step back. Between 2019 and 2020, roughly during the pandemic, that percentage didn't change much. The percentage change came between 2020 and 2023. So we bottomed out in 2018, plateaued, pretty much stayed at the same rate between 2018 and 2020. Between 2020 and 2023 is when the increase came. So homeownership rates are actually starting to go back up. But of course, it's a tool that the city has, that we have the ability to use to sort of entice the home ownership and keep homeowners coming back to the city and considering the city.
Anyone else?
Council President,
Yes.
these numbers, how we arrived at, Mr. Engelbrecht was not here in 2017. I was only mayor for a year. This information came to us from the Akron Cleveland Association of Realtors. And the reason it came to us is because I couldn't understand how Garfield Heights was outselling us. They were selling 2-to-1 homes compared to our one home. And so when I inquired, it's because they had a waiver and they got rid of this escrow requirement. If someone is saving $10,000 to put down on a house and there's $6,000 worth of violations, they have to take the money they save to put in escrow that we hold and come up with another amount of money to put down on the house to close the loan. So a lot of these loans were falling through. Realtors came and said, look, we can't close deals. We can't sell homes in your city because of this hardship. So some of us were there when they came to room 7 and gave us a presentation. They being, again, the Akron Cleveland Association Realtors. We since then have partnered and get a report from them monthly of how we're doing. The number you're referring to was 68%. At one time, we were 68% home owner occupied. We don't have a lot of apartments. As Mr. Engelbrecht has shared, those numbers have fluctuated. What's kept us above 60% is having this escrow waiver in place. That's the tool he's referring to. Had we not had that, it would went even further. This is an incentive so we can compete against our neighbors who are selling homes at a great deal more home ownership. And I think your chart shows that. I asked you to share with council tonight. So the reason we're asking for this to stay in place is already people are saying we're not going to sell in Maple Heights. This waiver is what entice people to move to Maple Heights. It's access to freeway, the school report card. This is a tool, and when we don't use everything in our toolbox, then we are not able to compete effectively or successfully with the other 50. There's 59 communities in this. I say this number all the there's 59 communities in Cuyahoga County. If we want to compete against 58 others, we have to have the tools to be competitive. This is a competitive tool. Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Councilman
Thank you.
Jeanette.
Thank you, Council Chair. So it sounds like to me that, and it sounds like even council members that may have opposed it is willing to look at it. I think that this is something that we can bring back in out of respect of the council members. Council Chair, will you mind putting it on? Since we're going to meet, instead of waiting later, just put it on immediately for the our upcoming COW. And I truly believe, and I don't speak for council, but I believe we'll be good if we're willing to just work with the council members who would just like to hear a little more.
Council President, as the introducer, I object to putting it in committee. We are losing valuable real estate time. We're about to go into the spring season, when most people buy homes so their children are settled before school year, and I'd like for this to go to a vote tonight. I
Chair.
do not want it to go into committee.
Mayor,
Chair.
we were not putting it in committee. He just was gonna have a meeting for him to discuss it with council, so if they have any further questions, they can ask.
That's
So
correct.
it
We-
was gonna go on first reading, and we're gonna be meeting on Monday.
I would like for it to be voted on tonight.
Chair,
you.
if I may.
Yes.
Mayor, respectfully, I'm just reading the pulse of the room. You know, to put it on emergency and the numbers, and I want to be respectful to the colleagues. I believe this will work, and we have a meeting Monday. Can we just have it go to second reading? I mean, just going back and forth to. For it,
Thank you.
like last meeting, I knew it. I was trying, but I'm not the introducer. I'm just figuring there's a possibility that this is going to work. But from what I'm hearing, council just don't want to put it on emergency today. I mean,
Council President, respectfully to Council Jeanette, I would like for this to be voted on this evening. Thank you.
Okay. So we will suspend the rules and vote on it this evening.
Council President,
Yes.
all due respect, Mayor, and I always vote no. But the thing, Director Ingebrigt, he just gave us some information. But I want to look at it. I want to do my research. So I think it's good to compromise. Today is Wednesday. We have our meeting on Monday. Compromise. Sometimes it's better to compromise, because if it fails, compromise. That's all.
Thank you, Councilman Agee. Time is not on our side. I'd like for this to be voted on tonight. There are many, many times that I compromise. This is too important, and we're talking significant dollars that are at stake. In closing, there's deals lingering, waiting on this legislation, and so I would like for this to go up for vote tonight.
and
Thank
Chair.
Yes.
I and you already know I've always supported this, and I support it now. But respectfully to the mayor, I'm not going to, knowing that it could not move on emergency, I will not vote for it on emergency because I don't want it to fail. Okay, and that doesn't just don't make sense to me, and I say that respectfully. When we know the pulse of the room, and if we could just leave it on first reading, I'm fine. But I don't want it to fail on the emergency. So respectfully, I'm not going to vote for it on emergency because I don't see that we have enough votes for it to pass on emergency, and I don't want it to fail. It just don't make sense for that to allow that to happen when we know, how some of our legislators are feeling right now.
Chair,
Yes, Councilwoman Jones.
Mayor, with all due respect,
Turn your mic on.
the meeting, I have my mic on. The meeting on Monday is committee of the whole, and Director Engelbrecht has agreed to attend the meeting in order to provide information. I don't feel that we may have the votes, and we also have 2 brand-new council people that may need to be further educated on this, this tool that we're trying to pass. So I'm just asking if you would reconsider.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Those council persons who have taken the initiative to reach out to inquire about this legislation, they're ready to vote. So I would like for it to be voted on tonight. Thank you.
Okay. So we will move forward. Okay. Ordinance number 2026-02, ordinance extending the moratorium on permitting new establishments that sell or distribute tobacco products, vapor products, alternative nicotine products, and/or electronic smoking devices in the city of Maple Heights for an additional period of 180 days from January 21st, 26 to July 20th, 26, and declaring an emergency. Any discussion?
Council President?
Councilwoman Tiana Malberry.
So this is just a continuation of the moratorium that we've had in place because there's been so many actually pop-up shops selling tobacco products and other nicotine products. And I hate to put Attorney Consolo on spot, but he could probably do, or give you all a little more detail as he did when we originally put this in place. And it's just time for it to come up again to keep it in place so that we don't have so many tobacco shops, because there's one popping up on every corner. If they even go to planning and zoning, they're actually just showing up.
Councilwoman explained it correctly. Just council, when you had passed this the last time, we had extended it. We passed it and then extended it once. It expired in October and nothing was done. So what I just talked to the director about, between October and tonight, we have not had any applications, thankfully. So had we had some applications for this type of business, they would have been grandfathered in. So if you pass this on emergency tonight, it will take effect from today, January 21, for another 180 days. But I do suggest that, council, in your committees, you do consider what you want to do with these types of establishments in the city within that 6-month period before it expires again.
Council President?
Yes.
So Attorney Consolo, am I correct in that, I know we had tried or discussed before making it permanent, and we are not able to make this permanent, or can you explain that?
To make the moratorium permanent?
To make it permanent, that the city has reached its fill, if you will, of
No,
these
I
type
understand, Councilwoman.
establishments.
No, I understand the question. So I think that's what your committee was going to discuss, whether whatever you guys present to, along with the administration, to prohibit these establishments altogether in all the different zoning districts, to allow only these establishments to exist within a certain geographical distance from each other, or to only allow so many to exist in number per district. Those are all the things that I thought the committee was going to talk about, right? So you have options that way.
Chair,
Yes.
to the law director, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So if there are options, could we extend the moratorium indefinitely until further notice? Or does it have to be district and city specific?
Well, okay, I think you asked two different things. Can you extend it indefinitely? I wouldn't recommend it, because then somebody could challenge us and say, well, you're not really serious about this. You're not using your time to let us know what you want to do, right? If one of these establishments wanted to move into the city, they would say we weren't acting rationally and fairly that way. Okay, but the second part of your question, per district, and that, I don't know what you meant there.
Oh, it was just what you were elaborating, that, in committee should have been discussed if we're going to allow, or per square, like so many per square miles, like we did the payday lending. We did a moratorium on them, and we allowed so many per square mile that would be able to exist in the city, and that worked.
Yeah, my suggestion would be look at the most recent zoning district, our central business district that the county helped us with, and in there they had put in buffer criteria. And if that's what council wants to do in collaboration with the mayor, the director, the administration, and a buffer is what everybody wants, we can certainly write that into the law. So I would recommend that, a buffer of feet, or you decide you don't want these. Anybody who has one of these establishments can come and make an application in the building department. By passing this tonight, that would say, okay, council wants a pause on this to see if these establishments can come in tonight. Does that make sense? I may have confused you. This is a moratorium. This isn't going to say whether there should be a buffer or they should exist or not. This is just saying we want time to make that decision.
Understand.
Chair?
Jeanette?
So you're right, because it's expiring. So we need to.
It's already
Yeah,
expired.
it's already expired. We need to extend it so we can have time to discuss it within that time frame. That's what you're saying. Well, that's what you would like for the committees, a committee to discuss what we want to do within that time frame. But we need to act so that we can have this on the books, that we do have a moratorium in place.
Right.
I
Well,
get what you're saying,
It's,
yeah.
it's not what I like, it's what you.
Right, I get you.
What you
I
all
get you.
like,
Right,
but
right.
that's, the purpose of this is like we passed
Mm-hmm.
last year, set aside time to
Yep.
discuss what to do with these type of establishments, right? But right now, if this doesn't pass, anyone can come in and make application with the building department for this type of business.
Okay. Anyone else? So we will suspend the rules and vote on this to be passed this evening. Resolution number 2026-03, a resolution observing the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and honoring his life and declaring it an emergency. Any discussion? Done? Okay, moving forward, appointment of charter reviews. So we will have you all this evening just announce your person when this time come up. And if you'd like to do it now, you can, so, starting with Councilman Shinet.
Just, no, you want, what you want me to do? You want me to announce?
Just name the person, right? Or
Or-
you just-
Do that during the
you want to do that? Okay, yeah. So we'll just do that during the council meeting this evening. Each person, each council person will share the name of their person that they selected for the charter review. No expenditures over 25,000. Council, so this caucus meeting is adjourned at 7:06. Give you 5 minutes and we'll start our council meeting.